Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Grayboardgamer here with the unboxing of Clans of Caledonia from Karma Games. I'm going to try a new format with my unboxings, starting with this video. The first part of the video will just be a straight unboxing, taking everything out, looking at it real quick, just basically seeing what's in the box for people who just want a quick glance at what's in there. And then the second part of the video, I will actually take a close-up, more in-depth look of the rulebook and components and art and different aspects of the game. That way, if you want something more in-depth, you just stay on board, or I'll also put a link in the description that will allow you to skip ahead to the more in-depth version. But if you just want to see the box opened and quickly see what's inside with this in a few minutes, this first part of the video will be for you. This is a recent Kickstarter arrival at my household, and it has a slip cover. I don't know if that's because this is a Kickstarter or not. Got the main box on the inside, and judging by no kind of retail information, let's check on the back of the main box here real quick. Yeah, there's our barcode. So this will probably be the box you see in retail, and the slip cover is most likely from the Kickstarter itself. Set that off to the side for now. Go ahead and get the box opened up, and we have a lot of bags. Let's make a little bit of room here so I can have a place to put everything. Oh, a bag of bags. Got a couple of dice, and these are printed on. They're not etched dice. We have something that you do not eat, and I have metal coins in here. Again, I'm not sure if these are because of the Kickstarter exclusive, or I'd have to go back and look and see if maybe I pledged more to have the metal coins. I'm not sure yet. I'll take a look at that, and I'll put a note in the video as to whether or not that's the fact. We have 3 different bags, and it looks like we have 3 different denominations. We have the 1s, some 10s, 1s, 5s, and 10s, and they look or appear to get gradually bigger as the denomination goes up. A small bag of what appears to be clear discs, acrylic. What else do we have in here? Tons and tons of wood pieces and meeples. So we have several bags of red. See if I can let this focus real quick, and you can see there's multiple shapes. Off the top of my head, I don't know what these different shapes represent in the game. They're the same thing for blue. It looks like there's 4 bags of the same thing for blue also. 4 bags for black, and 4 for white. Oh, I take that back. There are 5 white. And this looks like something different. So this probably doesn't belong with the other 4 bags. Then we have something that kind of looks like little wedges, little yellow wedges. Hopefully that's cheese, that would make sense. Bundles of wheat or grain. These, I don't know what these represent. They're gray, so maybe it's just like really bad peanut butter cups. I'm not sure what they're supposed to represent, and I'm sure, well, I can see that it's explained on the rulebook there, but it's more fun guessing. That definitely looks like bread. And then we have some puffy cloud thing, maybe cotton, a clover, 3-leaf clover, and then I'm not sure, maybe a plant of some kind. And then we got some barrels also. I'm seeing that the game is about whiskey. Oh, maybe the barrels of that. Also have a Scorepad. Several pages, and it appears to be double-sided. Then we have our rule books, if I can get them out of there. This one, this is the English, and this is, I believe that's German. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let's see. So we have, let's see how close we were on game components. Milk, oh, that's wool. Cheese, grain, bread, whiskey, cotton, tobacco, and sugar cane. I didn't have that pegged either. Definitely didn't have wool figured out. I don't think I even mentioned the milk. Then the 4 colors that we saw, the multiple bags for each one of those. Looks like we have a nicely illustrated rule book that is 12 pages long. And then, wow, I think that's all cardboard. Yes. Yep, the remainder of the box is multiple stacks of cardboard, punch boards. Looks like player boards. And like I said, I'll take a closer look at these in the second part of the video. This is just a quick glance at what's in the box. People are just curious to see what's in there and don't want to spend a lot of time going in depth with an analysis of the different components. Looks like we have different clans, which would kind of make sense because of the name of the game. But what I really meant was there's different markers for the different clans in the game. Okay. The cardboard feels fairly thick. We'll take a close look at it in the more detailed look here in just a minute. But that is the quick, super fast version of the unboxing for Clans of Caledonia from Karma Games. And now, like I said, the second half of this video will be a much more in-depth look. I'm going to take a look at the art, the components, and just give my initial comments and reactions on what I think of them. This is without playing the game at all or knowing very little about the game other than what I knew from the Kickstarter campaign. For those that chose to join me for the second half of this video, like I said, I'm going to do an in-depth look at everything that is in this box, including the box itself, and we'll start with that. First, we had this really nice slipcover, and it looks like we have representatives probably from each of the clans in the game. See if I can get a little closer here. Yeah, I like the art. And then we have, I'm going to hold this sideways so I can get it close to the camera. Looks like we have the seals or coat of arms. I'm not sure what the proper term is for what I'm looking at here for the different clans along the outside of the slipcover. Then on the back there was a map showing where the different clans are represented. Then we have the main box, and I think this is what people will see in retail without the slipcover. Nice little scene on it. Got his barrel going. Got a nice drink already poured for somebody there, ready to go. She's carrying the milk. And it is a 1 to 4 player game. Looks like it takes about 30 minutes per player. Got some stone buildings in the background. And on the edges of this box, again, we have more art the clans, a couple of close-ups from the scene on the front of the box, and then on the back we have our explanation. Clans of Caledonia is a strategic, didn't say that too well. Clans of Caledonia is a strategic and interactive economic game set in the 19th century Scotland. During this period, Scotland made the transition from the predominantly agricultural economy to an industrialized one, heavily reliant on trade and export. Food production increased to support the growth in population. Cheap cotton imports increasingly replaced linen, and raising sheep gained importance. Also, whiskey turned into the premium alcoholic beverage in Europe. As a proud member of the old clans, you use your unique abilities to earn the greatest wealth and fame. Features such as a modular map, 9 historic clans, and various scoring and port titles provide you with outstanding replayability. That is definitely something I always look for in a game, is that nice randomization and tons of replayability. So let's go ahead and take a close look at the components. First, we have the 2 custom dice that came with the game. Looks like we have +1 through 3 and -1 through 3. And then this looks like this has some kind of, maybe a resource die. It's got the various pictures of different items that are represented by a lot of those wooden bits we're going to take a look at. And again, these dice are printed on, they're not etched, so I don't know if that is going to be a wear and tear issue, if those are going to wear off over time. I do have plenty of games that have printed dice and they haven't started to wear off at all, so I don't know if that would be an issue or not. Anybody that's had a bad experience with any, please leave some comments, let me know about that. Let's take a look at those metal coins also. Here's a look at the front and the back of the single denomination. And these are some pretty nice, thick, sturdy metal coins. They got a really nice weight to them. So we got the one that has this cross symbol on it. So let's take a look at the 5 and then the 10 also. Here we have the front and the back of the 5. I'm going to bring the 1 in just so you can see that the 5 is just slightly larger than the 1. We got this nice ridging or ribbing around the perimeter. They're smooth on the edges. Then we have this, I'm not sure, lion, griffin, some kind of creature. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but let me know. Again, these are really nice, solid metal, have a really nice weight to them. So let's take another look at the 10. And here we have the 10. Really nice design around the edge. Definitely has a decent weight. Feels a little light for a coin. It's a little bit bigger, but the weight is still good. Smooth edge on it. Then we have this cameo or portrait. This is all nice raised detail. I'm going to grab one of each denomination so you can see the size difference. Here are the 3 of them side by side, the 1, 5, and the 10. And to give you a little bit of perspective, I'll go ahead and put a US penny here to give you an idea of the size of the coins. And to help out a little bit, for those of you that use the euro, here's a 1 euro coin to give you a little bit of perspective too, so you can get an idea of how big each of the coins are that come with the game. Well, here's our various wooden bits. I think the blue ones will probably show up the best for the players' bags. And you can see we have our, let it focus, we have our little whiskey barrels here. And I'm going to assume these are sheep, kind of look like rounded porcupines. We have our cheese wedges. And they feel nice. They seem to be really painted. I mean, you can see the wood grain on them. If I can let it focus. See if I can get it to, maybe not. But you can see the wood grain on them and they're painted well. I don't think it's going to be a an issue with color loss. Let me see what is interesting. We'll take a look at these little ones that I had wrong, my peanut butter cups. Nope, heard one hit the floor. Yeah. These must be, I mean, it's wool, so I guess it's like a tuft of wool or a bale of it. I'm not sure what the proper term is for a big or a large amount of wool. They almost look like sprockets, little gears to me. A couple of the brown whiskey barrels also have a nice feel to them. Nice rounded, sanded corners. Well painted. Color goes all the way through. I mean, they're light. There's not a lot of weight to them, but they feel nice. I mean, you wouldn't expect little pieces of wood to have a lot of weight to them. Let's take a look at our loaves of bread or slices of bread. Again, you can see the wood grain on there. These are a little rougher on top, but hey, it's bread. It's not going to be smooth like the wood of a barrel, although the outside of some barrels can be quite rough. Also, looks like we have some meeples down there. Looks like they have the kilt on and the hat on the top. I don't know the proper name for that type of hat, so I'm not going to try and call it something and be wrong. Again, that's what the comments are for. If you know what the name of that style of hat is, please let me know. I know when I was in the military, things that looked similar to that were berets, but I don't think the Scottish are calling them berets, but I could be wrong. And if I am, please let me know. In here, it looks like we have some cows, which would make sense, considering we have milk containers. Yep, looks like we got some cow and a meeple. And those are in each of the different colored bags. We have our wheat. I don't think there's anything else that's super interesting that we want to take a close-up look at there. Oh, we do have these over here that I forgot. Which are those three different ones, which were the cotton, tobacco, and sugar cane. So this is the cotton and tobacco. Well, now that I know what it is, it actually makes sense. I would have almost said it was a beer hop if I had to guess, but tobacco and sugar cane. I don't know why that represents sugar cane. I'm gonna have to look up a picture because I have a different picture in my head for what sugar cane looks like. I'm gonna have to look it up online and see why that might represent sugar cane. We have a nice 4-columned score pad, different rows, and it appears to be, yes, the same on both sides, so it can get a lot of use. Pretty good amount here, maybe 25, so that would, or maybe 30, so give us about 50 or 60 playthroughs with this score pad. Or if you're like me, you just use these initially, but when you get about halfway through it, you go ahead and run yourself a copy off. That way you don't go through all of them. Here we have the rule book. Let me reach over here and show you that there is another version of it. I believe that's German. Then also on the website, it looks like there's support for French, Italian, and Spanish. My knowledge of world flags is not very extensive, so if I got any of those wrong, feel free to yell at me and let me know. And we have our different identifiers for our different components in the game. And then what we all love is our cardboard. We got map modules, goods, scoring titles, and we'll take a look at these boards. We got a market board, an export board, player boards, clan tiles, export boxes, technology, 1 McDonald tile. So there's 70 of the coins, so we got 30 of the ones and 20 of each of the others. And as you can see, we have a lot of goods. So maybe 200 tokens. And it might even say it on the back of the box. A lot of times I'll put those highlights on there. Let's see. Yep, there we go. 239 custom wooden tokens. We have our setup, player starting items, and then we have the game structure. It looks like it's in 4 phases. Then you can do 8 different actions. Again, this is all just me glancing at the book. I have not played the game. And it's still going through the 4 phases. Then we got scoring. Simplifications. The following simplifications are good for your first game. Tighter game map without clans. Clan auction, recommended for experienced players. And we have an appendix for the port bonus and the scoring tiles, explaining what each of those are. Kickstarter, what does it say? Contributed tiles? These tiles were created and selected by the Kickstarter community during Clans of Caledonia. Okay, I remember this now. And then we have our clans over here. And it gives a little bit of background on each of the clans, and we also have the remaining clans here on the back of the rulebook. So we got a 12-page rulebook. Doesn't look like it's going to be overly heavy in the rules department. Not super easy and light, but maybe in the mid-ground. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Big chunk of cardboard over there. Take a look at this large stack of cardboard. Actually, let me just go ahead and take a look at some of the items up close. Here we have a clan tile. Got the nice scenic side. Then the various iconography, which I am definitely not sure what they are. And I do see that they have... Oh, it's not coming off of there. It's hanging on. See if I can get it to... There we go. Right off screen. And here's the 1 coin. Same as the metal version, except cardboard. I don't know if these are additional coins or they come with the game anyway. And this is one of the 4 player boards. Am I holding it right side up? I am. And that's what those various odd-shaped tokens are for. A lot of tracking here. Oh. Lots of information on the back. So we have, looks like, different variations for single player, solo, 2-player, 3-player. I was going to say, I don't know how you're going to look at the back of these if you're playing, but in a 4-player game, I guess you don't need to look at the back of these because these are for the different 1, 2, and 3-player variations. So that would make sense as to why, because if you got your tokens on here, you're not going to flip it over and take a look at it. If I can get that to sit back in there. And we have, well, this is pretty much the same. I'm looking at the other one just off screen. Not much different. Each of these is going to have the 4 player boards, some more clans. And that'll be it for the player boards. Then we have our modular map pieces. Take a look at a couple of those. I like games that have interlocking tiles that are also double-sided and can be randomized for a different game experience each time. The art on them, those little sheep or those rocks? Those are rocks there around it, but those are little sheep out there. Some houses. Got some clouds drifting by. Anything interesting going on in any of the water? Don't see anything on this particular one. And there's some of that industrialized area that they were talking about in the description. Got a cow. So we got some people here. Nice little details to notice when you're playing the game. Another cow. And there are 4 of these. We have another map tile. So we're going to have our 4 tiles in a row. Oh, almost. Well, I popped one of those out, so let's take a look at one of the 50 export contract tiles. And yes, made in Scotland. I imagine that'll be part of some draw pile. This also has some nice art on it. Looks like a sign pinned up on a board. Then you have the crate. Some scratches on it, making it look a little used. Stamped to let you know where it comes from. Oh, I accidentally popped out another one there. And then we have a large board with several of them. And yeah, they are all the same on the back, so those will be a draw pile. And then here we have our market board. Let me pop that out so I can take a look at it. Don't know how this works, but I do like the design of it. Instead of just having a board with numbers on it, get a better feel for it. The old markets or stock markets back when they used to use chalkboards before our electronic age that we're in now. And this looks like maybe for, let me hold it sideways just so I can see easier. Maybe 2 players, up to 2 or up to 4. And here we have our export board. I'm going to hold it at an angle so I can get it closer to the camera, let it zoom in. And it looks like we have almost like a score tracker. Maybe it's a price tracker. Around the outside, several bins. This is the 3-player side. Oh, here we have maybe the single player side. Or maybe up to 2. Yeah, because there's a 1 and a 2 there. And then this is all 4, not a 3-player. Okay. There's a look at the export board. I was just getting ready to put this back in and I realized the edge has these little notches on it, which means I'm guessing these scoring tiles might fit in there nicely. Let's see, here's one right here. Let's pop it out, see how well that it sits right in there. Maybe could be something completely different that goes in there. I'll look at the instruction book real quick just to make sure. And yes, I did find a picture of it, so that is where those shields go next to the export board. It's little things like that in the design, like this here, that really I like to see that in the game. They just take that little extra step. They could have made this a smooth edge and just had these tiles sitting right next to it, but they took that little bit of extra effort, notch it out. That way when it's sitting there, it just gives you, I don't know, a little more immersion, or just something, brings something else to the game when they make those nice little design choices to add that kind of stuff in. And when you look at the artwork on the boards, you see the little details. Instead of just having boxes, you see the little scratches in there where goods have been in the past, giving it a little bit of a worn look. It's the nice little details like that that really make a difference to me when I'm looking at the art or playing the game. And these are nice, really nice thick. Oop, lost focus there. Really nice thick cardboard pieces. These are not going to wear out on you. And they punched out really nice without having a lot of hanging material, or sometimes it's the die doesn't cut all the way and you get that little extra paper hanging out and you're afraid you're going to rip it off of your cardboard backing. I haven't punched all of them out yet, but just these ones I've knocked out during this unboxing video, I haven't had any problems like that. If I come across any problems, then I will go ahead and mention it in the comments when I do the full punch out of the game. But so far I'm really happy with the components and material that I'm seeing. Thank you for watching this unboxing of Clans of Caledonia from Karma Games. Also, for those of you that stuck around for the second half of the video, I really appreciate that. Also, let me know what you think. If that's something I should continue to do a quick unboxing just to see what's in the box, show the components real briefly just to give people an idea, and then in the second half of the unboxing video really take a close look at all the components and even the box and the art and the quality in the second half of these videos. Please take a moment to comment on the game and components. Let me know what you think of what you've seen here, or if you have this game and you've also played it, let me know how the gameplay is also. Really looking forward to getting this to the table as a solo game. A lot of the times my games are solo playthroughs. Don't forget, if you like what you see in not just the unboxings but the other videos on my channel, you can always throw a few coins my way by clicking on the GoFundMe link. All of your support is greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in my next video.